Coach, you were just named to the Bryant Award Watch List after the performance for 7 games. Congratulations on that.
Oh, appreciate it.
How did it feel to get that honor?
Yeah, that was one of those things, kind of like sitting up on the stage at the coaches convention with all those guys. Just kind of one of those surreal moments. You see your name with all those legends and greats and guys that I've looked up to for a long time. So that was that's what I told my dad last night. I said that was one of those that was really cool. You know, sometimes you kind of brush it off, but that was a huge honor and just something really cool, and a lot of credit to the players and staff.
Coming off a few days after that last game, 21-20 win, gets pulled it out late. Obviously not as many points as you want, but they showed that grit towards the end. What's kind of your assessment of that game after watching film and sit with it for a few days?
Yeah, it was a lot of credit to Monroe. Like I said after the game, they have really good players, really good coaches, and I think we were just so banged up, going into that game. It was just, you could feel it at practice. You could feel it. We're just trying to hold on. Let's find a way to win this game and get to the bye week and get healthy. And because it's not injuries that are season long, but it's one of those that just banged up type deals, ankles and hamstrings and quads and all that kind of stuff. So. This last couple days have been really good, kind of getting our bodies right, getting our academics right, and focusing on Troy. So it's been a good week, and the Monroe game was obviously just a huge win for the program, and whatever it takes to win is 21-20, whatever, 7-3, just win.
You mentioned you guys are banged up, got a bye week. Is that kind of the main focus this week? You mentioned Troy coming up next week, but is the main focus recovery for you guys?
Yeah, it's recovering academics, and then our coach has done a really good job of putting together just a base game plan. We started a little bit of third down today on Troy, but don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, and we got a lot of coaches out on the road recruiting and that type of deal. So really just focus on ourselves, self-scout, and making sure that really focus on ourselves, our recruiting, and then getting our bodies right.
Yeah. So this is first time talking to you the bye week. How do you, as your coaching staff, approach the bye week?
Yeah, I think the recruiting, that's been a big main focus, I would say, as far as that goes. We got guys, we're JUCO heavy right now as far as recruiting. Obviously, we're always focused on high school kids, but we have quite a few commits there, and feel pretty good about that. And so the portal's not open yet, so we're really focused on those JUCOs, and sometimes it's tough. It's easy, to go down to San Antonio, go to Austin, go to Dallas, but to get to Kansas, to get to Iowa, to get to California, get to Mississippi, to get to some of these Cisco's of the world, sometimes it's hard to do that if it's not a bye week. So we're hitting the JUCOs pretty heavy this week, and get some good information there from our coaching staff, and then focus on self-scout. That's been a big point of emphasis for us, and then really for me, the coaches have been more on Troy, but and then in getting Troy and the academic part of it, we've been on them about the academic part, and making sure everyone's good to go.
Yeah, looking back on your line, just mainly on the offense, what do you think obviously being in the red zone, but just overall, what do you think about how the offense performed?
Yeah, I thought we played well at times. I thought this was the first game, just our base fundamentals weren't as sharp as I like for them to be. Just some day one stuff, and probably goes back to guys being banged up and that whole deal. So that's another thing we're focusing on this week is the Indy time. It's always good to come back and get some good Indy work during the bye.
Kind of, as you're saying, so many guys banged up, not serious injuries, just
Yeah.
How do y'all, when those players are banged up, how do you, get them rehab and all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a fine line between pushing them because you got to, most guys just want to sit there and not do anything. That they think that's the best way to recover, but you got to get your body moving, got to get that blood flow. So we do a good job, and the training staff and Coach Huth does a really good job and getting those guys moving around. And I mean, there was a lot of guys last week that didn't even get to hardly practice. They got some of the walkthrough reps and got some mental reps, but they didn't even get to practice last week, and then got to play in the game. So, and you're never as sharp when that happens. You're just not. But I think this week guys moving around a little bit better and getting with Coach Huth and getting some rehab work. So it's this week has been really good for us.
Coach, how do you think a comeback win like Saturday's kind of speaks to the character and the culture of this team, especially considering there are a lot of new faces around campus, including yourself?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think, you kind of look around college football and some of the things that are going on, and anytime you have that many new faces and new coaching staff, it's easy to go another direction. And I think our guys, like I talked about, the relationships we have in that room, the real relationships that we have in the room, is that was key on Saturday, and especially coming off a close loss versus Lafayette. That's always tough, and you never, as a head coach, you always wonder, man, hopefully that doesn't beat you twice. And so last week, we had so many guys injured. It was just kind of one of those feelings as a head coach, like, man, this is going to be a really tough one, and it was. But our guys found a way to win, and that's the only thing that matters is you find a way to win in moments like that and games like that. We'll play better, throughout the year, and we'll play better later on in the season. But to win a game like that was really important for us.
And do you think that speaks to the growth of the program overall in the last few months?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're a program on the rise, and I think everyone can feel it. Everyone can see it. You see what we're doing in recruiting. You see what we're doing on the field. We're just going to continue to get better, and I'm just super excited about where this thing's headed.
Do you think that positive momentum has kind of been harnessed by the players?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of those situations that no matter – we kind of have the 24-hour rule. Whether you win or lose, you got to flush that and go on to the next one. And so I think our guys have done a good job of that so far.
Coach, halfway through here, pretty much. Do you think you're where you wanted to be, or where you expected to be at this point of the season? Yeah,
I think obviously there's a lot of things that we can get better at, and that sort of deal. There's a game or two probably you wish you had back, obviously. And it's not really than games. I probably should have said that bad. Plays. There's probably 2 or 3 plays this year. Man, everyone in the country feels that way. But so it really the little things matter, and the focus every day in meetings and the focus out there at practice is getting better and. This week, like I said, I keep bringing that up, but this week for the bye, just getting our bodies right, getting our minds right for this stretch will be critical.
Being at sort of the midway break in the season, is there anything specific that you want to see from your team as they push forward in the Sun Belt?
Yeah, I think just the execution part in all 3 phases, just continuing to get better. We played really well at times on both sides of the ball and in special teams. And we just got to continue to be more consistent in all 3 phases.
You talked a lot about recruiting, and remember the NCAA, they just got rid of the 25 cap on the classes. How beneficial is that to you and to not just necessarily your program, but all programs for recruiting?
Yeah, we've been, really since I've been a head coach, I've kind of operated under those circumstances because of the, everything that was going on. So, I think it's good, especially with the portal. I mean, I can't imagine not being able to do it. It would be really tough. You lose players and you're not able to replace them. So, I think that part's good. I like it.
With this class, obviously we can't talk about specific players, but we've seen you get some commits from about 5 DBs now. Are there any positions that you're focusing on, or is it just kind of a scatter shot for talent?
No, I think this was the plan all along, is we have to go heavy high school this class, and to a certain extent. I knew the first class, obviously you just getting the job and you don't want to just take a guy to take a guy. So we were very selective in the high school kids we took in the first class, and we had to get some, because there were so many guys that left the program that were starters and good players. We had to replace those guys with portal guys. And I think it's important, just like, we've talked about before, winning in year one is important. It helps your recruiting. It really does. And so you see guys that maybe weren't necessarily interested in Texas State 6 months ago that are now interested in Texas State. So that part's really good to see, and we need some youth. We need those developmental bodies, and there's something about a high school kid getting like your Chris Dons and your Atwoods and Bommies and those guys. I mean, those guys are going to be really special players for us, moving forward, and we just need more of those. And it's just the little things that those high school kids that they bring to the table, and especially the Texas high school kids. It's just they're just different. So we needed to sign a bunch of those guys, and we still got some time to go. They're committed to us, but we got to sign them and that whole deal, and there's that fine line, and then the portal opens up, and then you got to kind of see exactly what you got, what you don't have, obviously in December, and then the portal opens up again later in the year. So it's a constant battle of anticipating moves and making sure you're on top of it, having the next guy up, and that sort of deal. So good thing is, really on offense, we have a ton coming back. We really do, which is great. And then defense, we're obviously, especially up front, you're going to have to replace some more guys. So I would say pretty portal and JUCO heavy in those areas.
And having a crowd like we did on Saturday, a pretty full stadium, nice atmosphere. How great is that for recruiting, and how much does the interest in Texas State increase?
It's huge. It really is. I mean, you see like Thad tweeting that out, and what's that's done to this program, and you see everyone tweeting about it, and that's real. It's real, and the recruits see it. And we had multiple guys on campus this weekend that they just didn't know, and that's what I keep telling these recruits. Just one, give us an opportunity. Two, come check us out. Come check us out. When we get them here on game day, atmospheres like that, not only is it great for our current players, the atmosphere and winning, but it's huge for the recruits and their parents, and seeing us interact with the players, and seeing what the student section looks like. I mean, this place on Saturday, I mean, y'all were there. I mean, that was unbelievable. That was special. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's a real college atmosphere. And I've been coached at a lot of different conferences, and I'll put that crowd up and that student section up with anyone in the country. I mean, that was really cool.
Even though we're about 2 weeks away from the Troy game, just what were your overall thoughts about the trophy so far?
Yeah, I mean, I said it in the Sun Belt. It was Sunday, so you just have a huge win versus Monroe, and everyone's in a good mood. And I started watching some of the Troy stuff, and I turned it off. I was like, they're not ruining my Sunday. It's too far away. Those guys are unbelievable. They're like an SEC defense. The running back they got is unbelievable. They got a quarterback that can do everything they want him to do. He's a field general and coached really well. So yeah, they're I haven't seen everyone in this conference, but it'd be hard to find someone better than those guys.
But I was looking on seeing social media the other day, and saw something that was kind of surprising, and something you don't really expect. And I know this is probably way off your radar and everything, but bowl projections and seeing Texas State's name on there. How cool is that? And also, how do you guard against that with your team, saying that, it's still not there, but
yeah,
I mean, people are already expecting you guys to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we should be, and it's one of those things where, it's, everyone sees it, and it is what it is. I mean, we have 5 wins, but I think for us, obviously that was one of the goals that we had for ourselves is become bowl eligible, but that wasn't the goal that we put out. That's what I told the guys, like, going 5-2, that wasn't our goal to begin the season. No one said in here, let's go 5-2. That wasn't our goal. Being bowl eligible, yeah, that's one of our goals, but that wasn't the main goal we had out for ourselves. And really, only thing we can focus on right now is obviously Troy and getting healthy and our academics. So you can look at those things and be excited about those things, but you can't let your mind wander, too far. You just can't, because it's just a distraction. And obviously that's what we want for our program. And I want the administrators and students and all that. Yeah, talk about it, Kev. You can talk about it. But for us, it's not great. For us, it doesn't do us any good because we still have a lot of work to do.